really good growth
I
opportunities.
guess the flip side of it, and then we will take a few questions if there are any. The flip side of that is that, and I am hearing this as a part of the as
Right.
coming. This is the totally other right. I am adversarial by nature and by profession. I hear that as maybe I hear that from the perspective of, for example, the client who is the less empowered person in the relationship. The same person who, for example, I would recommend not go to mediation, where maybe you're advising in some ways what sounds like a very Christian or very, again, positive and empowering view could also be very much viewed as a suck it up.
Yeah, but what a great
kind of thing.
opportunity for that person who's not empowered to say, you know what, why have I not been empowered in my life? And
Sure,
here's
and
my
I
chance.
totally get the argument, and it totally makes me hysterical. So we have a few minutes left, and I'm wondering if there are any questions if people want to. Oh my goodness. I guess the woman in the red glasses frames right here. Yes.
I just wanted to make a couple of comments. I guess, as always, there were some generalities. And one thing I learned from divorce is that no two divorces are ever the same. You know, I had to talk to a lot of different people to learn about loneliness from one person and about how hard to push for a settlement from another.
This is the part where we don't quote Anna Karenina, right?
Another thing that was mentioned is the parent trap fantasy, which I agree many kids have. I have asked my grown children, did they have that fantasy? And they said no. And that was because my kids knew when I really meant no, and I would say something like, there is a 0% possibility, you know, whether it was whether you're going to have candy or go to a movie, or whatever. And so when I told them that, it was crystal clear to them. And so I think that's something parents can do. As far as without hostility, I think the fact that my kids, I think, came out extremely well was that they had two parents who did put the kids first. I say hate is stronger than love when I see what parents say about the other parent, or they'll reveal, you know, the philandering and all that. And we were able to go on family vacation for 9 years, starting 6 years after our divorce. Nothing in the world was better for my kids. They loved it. So I think the idea of the good divorce, my God, of course, to me. And I'll just say one last thing is that my lawyer, who was Peter Sherman, some of you may know him, he's retired now, but he was so fantastic. And he sent us to a therapist to do the custody. He said, I'm a lawyer. Why should I help you settle the custody? And I think that was a fantastic
There are now
thing.
some very few law firms now that have on staff parenting coordinators for that.
Hightower is the first advisor-owned, multi-clearing and multi-custodial financial services firm focused on the needs of individual investors and institutions. We believe the market is changing, and we believe the Hightower model will set a new standard for high net worth financial advisors and their ability to deliver solutions to their clients that leverage a multi-clearing and multi-custodial hub. Well, the marketplace today is largely divided into two big camps. You have the traditional Wall Street brokerage firms that are not only conflicted because of the multiple layers of profit that they drive at the client's expense, and small, usually mom and pop type RIAs that are struggling to service the needs of individual investors, even though they're also running their own business. The firms that are largely known as wirehouses that exist on Wall Street have gone through a metamorphosis. 10 years ago, there were maybe 10 or 11 of those firms. Today, there are 3. Many of them have gone out of business, and the reason that they went out of business is because they were taking risks that impaired their balance sheet, and they then suffered as a result of that excessive risk-taking. And in that process, they created a crisis of confidence in the individual investors. One only has to go back a few years, and you can think of the various incidences that have caused people to question whether a wirehouse broker and their firm really has the client.